Well, hello everyone. Again, we are going to be looking at this, which seems to be quite popular now. This is the GT Power light and sound system. This is the EU version for the European trucks. On a previous video, I reviewed this one, showed you how to set it up. A little bit confused with the dual rates, still not switching. So basically this one with the American truck style picture is for the MFC 01 equivalent, right? So this is primarily for the US trucks, and this one that says EU is for the European trucks. This one still does work with the Bluetooth phone app. So let's have a look at what we get in the box. So we have, let's pull this out, we have an absolute pile of wires. We don't have colour-coded wires like we do with a more well-known brand. This is the wire for the, I would assume, the Bluetooth module. We have wires, we have the XT60 connector. I think I'm going to have to make up an adapter for that, so I'm not going to do anything with that. And then we have 3 wires. So does this mean that this will go brushless? I'm going to find that out. So that certainly points to being able to have a brushless motor. That's something I didn't know, so yeah, very interesting for that. We have, wow, 5 of these servo plugs. 5 of them. Why is there 5? It's pretty good. We don't have a control box like the other. This is just simply an on-off switch. So we don't have the control box like this one here. So completely different. So let's get everything out of the box. And let's have a look at what we have here. It gives us a little bit of instructions on there, what goes what. So pictures speak 1,000 words. So electrical machinery, that is the motor. So we're going to have a quick look at all these, and here we have some LED labels that we put on these, very similar to the Tamiya ones. So I would imagine that if it's white heat shrink, it's going to be a white LED, yellow for yellow, and I'm hoping there's going to be a red one in there somewhere, and there it is, red one for the back. So I would assume that that's going to be a double. That's going to be, yeah. Get all these out when so brushless motor. Let's have a quick look. So we have the speaker, which is just a given because what's the point in it? We have the vibration unit, which I'm never a fan of that, not really. We have two different offset counterweights, some tie wraps to do cable management, some screws, nuts and bolts, self tappers, and yeah, they come pretty much. So let me get this plugged in. I'll plug this in just for the benefit of the video, because some people like the vibration motor to shake the truck and some people don't. Personally, I don't. Now we have here a coupler switch. I would imagine that is for the fifth wheel, that reduces power when there is a trailer hooked up to it, or increases power when there's a trailer hooked up to it for the additional weight, and when there's no trailer it reduces the power. So it all seems pretty straightforward. This one's a bigger plug, so it has got embossed on here that this is B for battery and M for motor. We have a little speaker symbol here and what looks like a little vibration icon just there, and yeah, I'd imagine you'd be able to go through there. And what's this? Update port, little USB update port. I'm going to have a look at that in the future to see what's what. So that is the coupler switch. So if I look on the back of this box, we can see that J8 is indeed the coupler switch, which is conveniently already plugged in. And we have just trying to figure out what these are. So we have this one down here, which is on its own. That's the main on-off switch. That one is another. That is wow, 5. There's 5 of them. I'll have to figure out what this is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd imagine with all the white signal wires being here on the left, sorry, on the right, and the black one being on the left, that's going to be the same for these, and there's 4 positions for them. So let's find out what these are for. Right, let me get into it. Let me get it all plugged in, and when I've got it plugged in and figured out, because it might be an hour or so of head scratching and you don't want to hear that, and I'll come back to you. Right, now it's all plugged in, we need to download the app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto my screen recorder, and I'm going to record it with no sounds. So we can either go onto the QR code and scan, and then it says go to that website. The GT Power website, and you can see that it's come up with app of truck LS60A, and then we can see this APK file. We just click on that, and even though it's saying do I want to download it again, then I'll download it again, and when that's done just click open and install. And then open, and that is not going to connect because that is not switched on, so it's gone to failed. So bring in the radio and turn that on, and then we turn on the GT system, and then we can see there that it's all connected up, and from there we can control anything from the lights. Set them all to auto, and then they are on the radio, and yeah, we'll go through that a little bit later on. So I shall stop the screen record. So okay, we're going to set the dual rates on this. We're not going to do 75% or 70% because there's no need, because on the GT power truck systems it doesn't rely on just dual rate. So we're just going to set those to 90 because we have to use the trims to enable the lights, the warning lights and the other functions. So let's get into it. Done the self-centering modification on this, so that warning will always come up because this switch lever isn't all the way down. So first of all we press OK to get into the menu, and then we go down to aux switches, and then press OK, and we can see we've got A, B, C, D on there. So this is A, B, C and D, and these are the variable A, variable B. So I want to turn those off. So if we press the OK, we can toggle across to each one. So I'm going to go and switch on A, which is this one, switch on B, which is this one, switch on C, which is this one, and then the variables I would like to switch, don't want that one on, that one off, so we have A, B and C, A, B and C are on, and D, variable A, variable B is off. Now to set those in, we just press and hold the cancel button. That takes us back and saves those settings. And then we go back again and we go up or down to function settings. Then we go down to assign switches, fly mode, idle and throttle mode. We need fly mode to normal for switch A. Okay, so when we flick that switch, it goes into sport mode, and that will help with the dual rate. So keep that setting, press and hold the cancel key, then we go back up to dual rate, and channel 1 is normal, channel 2 is, we need to drop that down to 90, and then go back and go to channel 4, press OK, change the rate down to 90 and press and hold OK. And as you can see, channel 5 and channel 6 source are none. We want to have this channel 5 as this potentially on off switch. So we can go down to switch B for channel 5 and down to channel 6, and we can go down to switch 8B and C. So that's that one. And then, so 5 is B, 6 is C. And then press and hold, and that's good to go. Then we can go down to the display, and we can see that channel 5 is on this switch now. And channel 6 is on the bottom one. So it's left, neutral and right. So that can be third, second or third. And on this stick here we have, doesn't go all the way across, because the dual rate switch is like that. So if I do that and that, that's for channel 2 and 4. That's the dual rate. And that is good to go. So the calibration is quite simply teaching this unit where your endpoints and your stick travel is on this. Now we've set the dual rate to 90 because we still have to use these electronic trims. So basically we have here written down, let me just bring you back out. We have just here written down what channel 1, channel 2, because we have to do them in order of 1, 2, 3 and 4, but because these are configured differently, it's channel 1, 3, 2 and 4, which is what I've put here. So obviously the first stick we need to move is channel 1, which is the steer stick, and the second channel is the light stick, which is this one. So this is 1 and 2, and then we have 3 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple as that. So radio on. That is connected. So, is it working? Yes, it's working. We need something to poke this right hand button for 3 seconds. That long bleep means it is now in calibration mode. So channel 1, channel 2. So I'll put my stick there. So yeah, you do it from its maximum press, neutral, press, and then channel 3 is up maximum, down maximum, neutral, press, and then channel 4 maximum right, maximum left, neutral, and then that's it calibrated. Right then folks, that's pretty much it wired in. A bit of paper. Now the first thing is the order of which these leads go in. Now I'm working down from the top, which they say is channel 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Channel 5 I've just left knotted up because that is the S-bus. I'm not going to claim I know what that is, so that one's just going to get tucked up out of the way. And these I've worked out that channel 1 goes into channel 1, channel 2 into channel 3, channel 3 into channel 2, channel 4 into 4. So it's only the middle two that you need to swap over if you want your sticks to be configured as throttle, steering, lights and gear shift. That's how we do that. Because there is no labels for these, and yeah, that's pretty much that. This one was already plugged in. This is the coupler switch for the fifth wheel, which on the Tamiya one it reduces power when there's no trailer on, and this is just a simple on-off switch. There is no control panel like there is on the earlier one. We have the control panel just here, we haven't got that, it's just an on-off switch. And as for wiring, so these wires that we get with the lights, they're all the same length, there's no difference between front and rear, and they are 30 centimeters long. They're almost as wide as this board. So I hate wires, so I've just put this bit of paper on here with the labels on there. There's a lot of cable for the battery, which has an XT60. I've made up an adapter lead for various things, and you have about 12 inches of motor wires. I just used the green and yellow for a brushed motor, and you have the optional third wire for a brushless motor. And these wires are incredibly big, so you have some serious cable management to get through. They do supply you with a few zip ties, but you're going to have to be quite creative. I just hate wiring that's messy, really do. So yeah, that's why I've gone for the cover up. That's beeping because I've not used the radio yet. So, zip trim all the way down, electronic trim, and then the dual rate, and you can go through the cycle of lights. Then up to the extreme for a four-way. It's a bit of a head scratcher, and I'll not lie to you about it. Plugging it all in from past experience, plugging it in from past experiences with these GT Power and the others, the Tamiya range, it's pretty easy. I've got reference notes here. It's not easy to control, and I cannot figure out how to get this to switch the lights via the radio on the dual rates only. You have to keep zipping those trims back and forth, and I don't know, I really don't know how, because all I'm using on here is the GT unit and these 3 servos and the motor. The rest of it is just not used on this application, which is really do I like it? That's a good question. Do I like it? Having set hundreds of Tamiya MFC 01 and 03s up, they are an absolute piece of cake to set up. These are a bit more of a head scratcher. The instructions are a little vague. This 5th lead here, that is for the S-bus, and I just can't understand how this is translated from Chinese to English. But the one thing I would do is I would take out this gear shift servo and plug that directly into channel 6, because on the radio what we did this is the let me just move up, and in a bit, this is the shift servo just here. I wanted it on this 3-way switch, so that's not going through the GT system, that's just going straight through the radio. Doesn't alter the function at all on the radio. It still does what it does. So what does the app actually do? Let's open it and find out. The Euro version is the LS60A, so we'll go ahead and open that. It's going to try and connect. It's not plugged in, it's not switched on. So I'm just going to click cancel just to show you what happens here. So on the home screen, which you can see at the bottom highlighted in orange, you can turn up the main volume. We've been doing a demonstration and it's been on volume level 3, so if you're in a noisy environment you can turn that up a little bit there. Now we'll start from the top. This is a serial number, device type and firmware version. Then the main mode, right? We're in simulation mode, which gives you full control over your model on the radio. If you have it in ESC mode, which is low lighted in black, writing in orange, that will just give you no sound, no lights, just the electronic speed controller. And then manual mode is for changing it on the actual system. So what's the point of that? Let's have it in simulation mode. If you're testing it at home and you don't want to annoy family, put it in ESC mode. So leave it in simulation mode. So roof switch, right? What is that? That basically means when its roof lights are switched on, all of the lights are going to be switched on, the 5 marker lights. Speed light, the 2 outer marker lights on, you know, the 5 lights, it's basically the 2 outer ones will stay on, and the 3 middle lights will denote whether you're in first, second or third. It'll be 1, 2 and 3 lights on. I've never been a fan of that. I know what gear I'm in, so I just switch that to roof light. Light mode, you can switch on the roof lights, the front lights or the fog lights. I just switch that, leave that off, and as you see that there, that is more than enough, because we can control the lights on the next tab across from the bottom. You see it highlighted in orange, and we have the 4 main buttons at the top. If we have it on auto, which are all low lighted down this right hand column, that means we can control them from the radio. So for example, if we turn off the top 3, the 3 lights, roof lights, that means they're not going to work at all, no matter what we do with the radio, or we can switch them on. Now it keeps coming up with this message near the bottom, device not connected. So we can bulk switch to all off, all on, or breathe, which is a pulsating. For the purposes of simulation, we have them all in auto. Or you could have an auxiliary light, the one at the bottom, have them switched on, and that'll be DRLs. They will not be turned off via the radio. And you know, you can just turn any off. We can have them all on auto. That's great. The next one across is shopping. That just takes you to the GT Power website, and yeah, we don't want that. And this is what we're not interested in shopping. And then we're on to the settings, which is the bottom tab far right. Sound settings. You can alter the sound volume of your shift sound. You can even turn it on or off, and you can also, so when you change gear into first, second or third. Same with your whistle sound. That's basically your air horn, and you can turn that on or off if you don't want to hear it, and you can turn that up or down. Steering sound, that is the indicator sound. So the little blip that you get when your indicator flashes, you can turn that completely off. You can have it on the default steering sounds. You can alter the volume of that, and then you can have that as either new, which is like a pick pop, where the default is more like a click click, and we just press confirm for that. It's not going to update anything. Third channel function. Now that's the 5th wire lead. No, it's not. That is the coupler servo. So you can have the drawbar servo, so you can operate, if you have that on there, your up and down stick on the right will operate that 3rd channel, and I just have it in loudspeaker switch because there isn't a 5th wheel servo on this. And then you can turn your reversing bleeper on or off, and the brake warning tone, that's default is okay, right? If you have it on emergency, it sounds like screeching tyres, a really poor sample, so just leave that. Well, have a try of it. So when you drive forward and then pull the stick back for brake, it'll go screech, and it just sounds horrible. So I leave it on default. So that is your sound settings. ESC settings, as you can see here, we can have that stop start. So when you stop driving after 5 seconds, or whatever value you put it in as, so if you want it to run for 10 seconds and you press that to confirm, it changes that. Or you can turn that feature off, so the truck engine will just constantly run. Start sensitivity, so when you pull down on the right stick, that just alters the sensitivity of the startup. If you push your stick forward and you go into reverse, you can actually reverse the speed controller. And if you switch on the neutral switch, now it's on, there will be no power going to the motor. You can rev the engine as much as you like with the throttle stick, and you have to turn that off to be able to re-engage the motor. Next segment down is the maximum protection current, and this will go up to 60 amps. I would just leave that as a default 20 amp. ESC mode, here we can go brushless if we like, or brush, and you have your various brushless settings here, and if it's got a sensor, sensorless, or censored, you could just have it on auto. Angle trim, you can have an adjustable angle on your brushless. Okay, so EFC power, we can have 50% power, or we can have maximum. It all depends on what you're using your truck for. And then the vibration motor power, I'm not a particular fan of the vibration motor. They don't shake like a leaf on a tree in a high wind, so I just switched that all the way down to nothing. So yeah, that's your ESC settings, and then you have your S-bus and PPM settings. I haven't got a clue what these are, so you can switch to channel 5. I just leave that. I haven't got a clue. Maybe I'll get time one day to have a look into it and see what it is. I'll come back to that. Wrong alarm for controller. You can switch that on or off. Now, controller trim, if we're using the Fly Sky, it's going to be an electronic trim, so we confirm that to electronic. Dangerous flash, that's hazard warning lights. We can turn that on and off. Temperature protection, we can have that cut off at whatever temperature you want it to set at, or you can just disable it altogether. Now this is good for Lipo, well, for your nickel metal hydride as well. You can set your voltage protection, so leave that switched on, and you can select between 4 types of battery, Lipo, and you can go up to 3S on Lipo. I have tried it and smoke didn't come out, and we can confirm that. Battery cells brings up the same menu, and you can go 8 cells on nickel metal hydride, or just 6 cells. So these are all user things. We can restore or cancel that. We can modify password. I don't have one set. We can plug this in and update the system. So that is the settings basically. Now controller. So controller, we're going to have to flip the screen. And this is basically controlling the truck. On this side here we have the throttle, and this way we have the steering that we can just use on the touchscreen. And switch at the bottom, the triangle, that's a hazard warning light. Touch that to go on and off. It's just say device not connected, because it's not. And there's the horn. And if you wanted to swap these buttons over, you tap this one right up in the top right corner, and then you have your steering on this side and your throttle on this side. And I'm not sure what that does. I've not had it all plugged in. The little, I think that's a reverse thing. We can put the brake on, right? So that puts it into revving mode or neutral mode. So you put this up to the top and the truck's not going to go anywhere. And if you take the brake off, you can push that up and drive the truck. Here we have like a joystick. We have, let me move that. We can then control the fifth wheel with this up and down. That's a little icon of a fifth wheel. And then over on this side we can switch to ESC mode or simulation mode, and here we can switch between roof lights and speed lights. On the next one across we can turn on all the lights as we want, turn them off. And then this is the gearbox. First gear, second gear, third gear, and that is basically how the smartphone actually works. So, and then we can exit that, and yeah, we're pretty good to go. So yeah, play about with it, choose your own settings, and away you go. This Bluetooth part of it is brilliant. I really do like it. You can have a mobile phone holder on your radio,